All right, guys, let's kick things off with a super quick anatomy lesson because this is the aha moment where it's all going to click. And today we are talking about your glutes. And they aren't just one big muscle. A lot of people think that the butt cheek or the butt muscle is just one muscle, but we are to break it to you today that it's not, and that's why we have to train it separately.
Exactly. And I think that's the first mistake that a lot of people make, right? They hear glutes and they think, okay, this is just one thing.
Yeah, one huge gadonk. But
Yes.
you've got the gluteus maximus, the gluteus medius, and the gluteus minimus, and those three muscles make up your booty. So for your glutes to truly look round and defined from every angle, all three of these players need to be showing up in the practice.
100%. But most people's training is completely lopsided. We've seen this so many times. They just hammer the big guy and then let the other two atrophy. Like that's just,
Like the meme of The Simpsons when he's fading into the bush. The other two's
No,
just like disappearing like that away into the bush.
That's basically what happens to the other muscles.
And it's like trying to build a perfectly round, sculpted, but you're only ever working on the back part of your butt, if that makes sense. So if you end up with projection, then sure, but it's not going to bring any real shape. It's going to be all back and no sides booty. But today, we're going to help you fix that. And if that little anatomy lesson was already an aha moment for you, do us a quick favor and hit that subscribe button because we are about to give you the exercises to fix your problems. So, the first thing that we want to cover is the one that everybody knows and loves, and that is the gluteus maximus. This isn't just the biggest muscle, it's also the largest muscle in your entire body, like your whole body.
Did you know that?
You know?
I was asking the viewers actually if they knew that.
Oh.
And also another thing is that his main job is all about power, right? That hip extension motion that all of us know and love and try our best to absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the exact one. So think of that powerful hip thrusting motion when you stand up from a squat, a jump, or lift something heavy off the floor. You know that movement. This is your power and your volume muscle. It's what gives your glutes that bubble look from behind. The exercise you're probably already doing a million of, like squats, deadlifts, lunges. Those are the perfect exercises that you would be doing if you are wanting to train the specific part of your booty.
Yeah, but you always say that there's a king of all glute exercises, right?
Without a doubt. And you know it, you love it, you heard it here first. It's the hip thrusts. It's the reason hip thrusts are so ridiculously effective is that when they train the gluteus maximus, where it can squeeze on the hardest, right to the very top of the movement, you just don't get the same level of peak contraction with an exercise like squats, where the tension is mostly at the bottom of the movement, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so let's talk about form because this is the one thing that a lot of people get wrong. They know what to do, but they don't know how to do it. And the magic is in how you do it.
Yeah, definitely. And when you set up, your shoulder blade should be locked onto the bench and your feet should be firmly planted down so that when you are at the top, your shins are perfectly vertical. Don't make the classic mistake of putting your feet too far out in the front or too close to your booty, because that just shifts the work to your hamstrings or your quads, which is not what we're trying to do. You want to be like in a perfect tabletop position. If you want to add variation from there, you can take your feet further apart and then maybe turn your toes out if you want to target a different section of the booty, but we're going to get to that.
And now you're probably wondering, like, what is the most important cue then? Because there are so many. So what's the main one?
Drive your hips to the top. And here's the key. Pause at the top for a solid 1 to 2 seconds. This movement is where time under tension matters the most. You want to squeeze your glutes like you're trying to crack a walnut between your legs. And then control the weight all the way back down. Like if you want to build sheer size on the glute max, aim for a tough weight in that being 6 to 12 rep range. I would actually say 10 to 12 reps. Keep it quite high. Yeah.
And this is basically your foundation, and you need to think about that way. But a foundation is not the finished house, right? It's just the start. So now let's get to the muscles that you probably are ignoring half of the time without even realizing it. The ones that actually build that shelf and that carve out that incredible roundness that all of us are wanting in our little tight black dress. All of us want that. Don't tell me you don't. You do.
Now we are going to show you how to get that. So this is the secret weapon. If you feel like your progress has stalled, this is probably the reason why. Introducing Gluteus Medius. This muscle sits a bit higher up on the side of your hip. So if this were my booty, this muscle would be like here. It's almost meeting your lower back. And usually when you do movements that target this muscle, a lot of people say, oh, my back's hurting. No, it's your glute med. It's your glute med that's letting you know, hello, I'm here.
And basically its main job is totally different from the gluteus maximus. It's about the hip adduction, which is just a fancy way of saying moving your legs away from the center of your body. It is also a vertical stabilizer for your entire pelvis. So it's very important.
Yeah, super. And for your back, since because of the placement. But forget that bubble butt for a second. The glute medius is the shelf builder. This is the muscle that creates that upper glute density and that makes your waist look smaller and that gives you that nice juicy curve from the side. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely, everybody's visualizing right now because even I am. So if someone feels like they have hip dips, which is very common in a lot of women and absolutely normal, or they feel like they have a bit of a square shape, it's very often because that muscle is underdeveloped.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And since the glute medius is all about moving your leg out to the side, exercises that only go forward and backward, like your standing squats or your lunges, they don't really hit that area of your body effectively. So you might have to use movements that literally push your leg out sideways against resistance.
And also, if Zoe just solved the biggest mystery in your life when it comes to hip dips, let us know by hitting the like button. It is honestly a massive help, and it also gives us an indication that we are making content that actually helps you.
Yeah. We love to hear from you, so please do that. So now we're going to get into my absolute favorite, and this is the cable hip adduction. And it just isolates the glute medius perfectly. And to do this exercise, you're going to attach an ankle strap to your foot, and then to a low cable pulley or moving the cable pulley all the way down, you are going to stand sideways to the machine. So if the machine is facing you, you are like square to the machine, right? And then don't forget to attach the cable to the ankle strap. And
on the working leg, please.
Oh, yes, yes, so video like that actually.
That's why I'm saying it, because that video just literally popped into my mind.
And then you are going to let the cable pull your working leg across your body to get a nice stretch. And then obviously you want to make sure that you are controlling the movement on the way back as well.
Yeah. And what is the movement itself?
The movement is keeping your core tight, keeping your body upright. You can have a slight bend in your upper posture, but you don't want to be completely bent over, because then you're no longer going to get into the muscle. And then you want to sweep your leg out to the side. Don't just be swinging your legs back and forth. And if you are able to swing, the weight is obviously way too light for you. Control 100%. The movement and focus on squeezing that outer glute section. So you should feel a serious burn right on the side of your hip. This muscle loves higher reps and constant tension. So we're not trying to set a world record for weight here, but the goal is to create a deep burn.
Yeah. And now you're probably wondering, what exactly is the target? How do we distinguish this?
This is a high volume exercise. You want to be aiming for 3 to 4 sets of 15 to 20 reps on each side. And please don't rush it. There's a reason why Donaé and I have a separate glute day, because if you want to grow your booty, you have to spend time with it. You know, it's like when you want to woo a girl or a guy, you're putting in the time to get that person. It's the same thing with your booty. A slow, controlled pace is way more important than pushing momentum. And another awesome one is the side plank, which is very underrated as a glute exercise, but try it and then let us know. Yeah, because this really challenges your stability as well, and your glutes are all about stability.
They are. And when you start training your glute medius the right way, you are definitely going to feel muscles you didn't even know existed. Which is so funny, because like sometimes you're working with your client and they go, oh my gosh, it's burning where I didn't even know it could burn. What is that? I didn't even know that was there.
That's such a common thing to say, but it's so funny and it's so true, because when you start using your body more effectively, you start realizing and making different connections to muscles you didn't even know existed.
100%.
And that's a good thing. That's the feeling of building your shelf and yourself.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so we've got the powerhouse Maximus, and then we have the shelf building Medius. So what's the final piece of this puzzle? Zoe, tell us.
So finally, let's add the finishing detail. We have the unsung hero of the group chat, and that is Gluteus Minimus. It's the smallest muscle, like in the name Minimus, and it's the deepest of all three, located under the gluteus medius. So once again, back to my hand diagram. Here's your Maximus, and then medius would be like over here, kind of. And then Minimus is like on the inside of Maximus and Medius, but closer towards the upper part. Got it? Got it?
Got it.
So,
you know, it's funny, whenever I say like glute medius or Maximus, I always think about the Transformer. Like Gluteus Maximus Prime. But that's what we want to do to our glutes, right? We want to transform them.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, so we've spoken about what the other two does, but what does this one do? Because it sounds like it can actually help us a lot more than we realize. Because dynamite, it always comes in the small ones, always.
Fair. And the truth is that it actually works as a team, which is common for our body, with the medius to help abduct the leg, and crucially to stabilize the hip and the pelvis. Think of the Minimus as the medius essential partner, like its support animal. So while the medius builds this main shelf that you are busy getting, the minimus works right alongside it. So it's adding all of that extra detail that contributes to a truly round shape. Think of the medius as a balloon, and the minimus is the air inside the balloon, and it's pushing against the medius, which is giving it that extra denseness, that extra form that you need to get it
up there. I love that. And also another thing is that it is a lot more important than it looks, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's also critical for your knee health. Yes, I said it, and I know all of you have knee pain if you're in our age range. It stops your knees literally from caving inward during single leg moves, which is a massive cause of injury for a lot of people. And to hit it, we can use exercises similar to what we do for the medius, but with an intense focus on stability and control. This is where single leg exercises really shine, and you should be adding single leg balancing exercises into your workout routine.
Yeah. What would be a good killer exercise for that, do you think?
Definitely a single leg glute bridge. That's such a booty burner. You lie on your back, plant one of your feet on the floor with your knees bent. My suggestion is to take it to the next level. Straight away, put your feet on a bench. You can either put the bench on the lowest level or on the highest level, obviously starting on the lowest level if this is a new exercise or new movement to you. And then from this position, you're now going to drive through the heel of the foot that's planted on the step or on the bench. And then you're going to lift your hips until you've reached a straight line from your knees all the way down to your shoulders. And the real secret here is to keep your hips perfectly level so you do not let the side with the extended leg drop down. So if this was my hips from the top and now this is the leg that I'm lifting, if I'm lifting my hips and my leg goes up, this side hip shouldn't be then lower than the other side. So you always want to make sure that even the leg that you're lifting, your hips are still staying quite even.
In line.
Yeah.
And that stability part is what really targets it completely. So what amount of reps are we looking at?
Same as with medius, we want to go for 10 to 15 slow, controlled reps in each leg. Another fantastic option is the curtsy lunge. Oh, I love this movement. I love this exercise. It's unlike a regular lunge, so it's a bit more fun. And you basically step back your leg behind the other, and then you cross over your body. So that diagonal movement forces the outer glutes of your front leg, both the medius and the minimus, to work over time just to keep you from falling over. So if you have a trainer, that's why we're always adding one-legged movement or single arm movements as well, because we get nice stability into that and you can work on your balance at the same time. And when doing this exercise, you want to aim for 10 to 12 reps per side, and you really want to focus on that deep stretch and controlled movement. Super important to make sure that the movements are controlled. All right. So now you've got the theory. We've given you all of the juices that we know. You've got the exercises. So let's put all of that together into a complete workout that you can do 2 or 3 times a week. Twice a week is more than enough. And if you're doing a leg session, then a leg session and a glute session is more than enough. You don't have to have 2 glute sessions and a leg session unless you feel that your booty is critically low on gains and you want to put in some extra work. But just in the greater scheme of things, rest is also important. So if you want to grow your booty, also rest it.
Yeah, that plan makes sense for sure. All three glute muscles get their work that they deserve. So if you're ready to get to work, go ahead and screenshot the routine, which will pop on the screen right now. And be sure to subscribe to our channel so you never miss another workout.
So here's the full workout. I'm going to structure it to hit the big muscles first with heavy weights, and then we'll move into higher rep detailed work. I think that's how you plan your sessions as well, Dee, right?
Yeah.
Always get the heavy shit out of the way. Always get the hard stuff out of the way. And then you know that when you're doing the slow and controlled movements, you've got time, you don't have to feel rushed or whatever, it's like the finishing down of the workout, even though you're still in total pain. So first exercise would be your barbell hip thrust with a Gluteus Maximus focus.
And you'll do 4 sets of these of 8 to 12 reps, depending.
Yeah, and the focus here is to go heavy, but keep your form perfect. Squeeze for 1 to 2 seconds at the top, come back down, and repeat.
Okay, next up we have the mother of all killers, the Bulgarian split squat. I saw a meme that said, which Bulgarian decided to split their squat? It's so funny. But when
I tell my German clients we're doing a Bulgarian split squat, then they're like, Bulgarische split squat. Waarom then? Why Bulgarian? Why Bulgarian?
Why is it called the Bulgarian split squat? It's so random. Maybe it originated from the Bulgarian. But the Bulgarian split squat is basically for your Maximus and stabilizer focus.
Okay. Before I go on, I just want to give you some info. So the Bulgarian split squat originated in Olympic weightlifting training systems in Bulgaria during the 1970s to 1980s. So someone in Bulgaria was trying to split their squats.
So literally.
So 3 sets is what you need to do with 10 to 12 reps per leg.
Yeah, and for these, you lean with your torso slightly forward and just a little bit to get deeper into that glute stretch and control the movement all the way down. So if you're thinking about it, you have your foot in front of you, your foot on the bench. Also, the foot in front of you is not too close to you so that you are sitting like completely back onto your foot on the bench basically, but think of your body as going like this when you are performing the squat, because you are slightly hinging at the hips by leaning forward, and that is the important part, so you can get that stretch in the glute. Which is what
Donaé gave you some proper nuggies there. That's a really important tip about the Bulgarian split squat, which I think a lot of people miss when they are doing the exercise. Most people treat it like a lunge almost, and they just go straight down. But the movement needs to be at a kind of a slant. And then third, cable hip abductions. Our gluteus medius focus, baby.
And with this one, we are looking at 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps per leg. You can really maximize the reps on this because we are not pushing for very heavy weights, because with this movement, you can keep the weights relatively light but still get your glutes to work and burn on a relatively lightweight. I'm not saying 2.5 kg. Let's go 5, 7.5, 10 maybe even. But if you're looking at more than that, you're going to struggle to get your leg up, and we don't want it to be a battle, because you need to get all the way to the top so you can get that squeeze that you are actually after. Because if the weight's too heavy, your leg's never going to get there. So
I would always say drop to 50% of what you were doing with Maximus on your first set, and then build it up to 60 or 70%, if that makes sense. So let's say you're doing 10 kgs on Maximus, then you drop it down to 5 kgs for your first set of doing Medius, then you go to 6 kgs for your second set, and then maybe 7 kgs for your last set. So you're allowing yourself to get to the 15, 20 reps. And if you see you can't get to the 7th kg, it's fine to stay between 5 and 6 then, but also a little bit of progression overload that you can get in that exercise. And then obviously to focus on constant time under tension. No swinging, like none of that. It's not a kettlebell swing. It's not a hip hinge movement. It's just a thrust.
Yeah, exactly. And to finish this beautiful session of glutes off, we're going to end off with a single leg glute bridge. And this one is exactly for that gluteus minimus focus.
And we're going to do that by completing 3 sets. 1, 2, 3. 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps. Once again, high volume exercise due to the amount of reps that you are needing to perform.
Yeah. And the most important part is to keep your hips perfectly level. With all of these, especially the single leg movements, try and keep your hips level. The one should not be lagging with the other one. And if you catch yourself, correct it immediately. It's like when your coach tells you, engage your core, you often forget to do this. And this is one of those things that you constantly have to remind yourself of. Straighten your hips, align your hips, keep them level.
Exactly. And that you should be doing not just when you're training your glutes, that you should be doing with the start of every single exercise.
Yeah.
Donaé and I have been training for decades, and we still check, are my toes in line, are my hips squared with my feet, all of those things. It's so important to make sure that you have symmetry firstly in your body, because you don't want the one side of your body to grow like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Apply that logic to all. But that's it, guys. That workout right there delivers 13 total sets aimed directly at your glutes, hitting them from every single angle so that you get the pitch that you're looking for. And if you stay consistent with this and focus on progressive overload, just trying to lift a little bit heavier or do more reps over time, you absolutely will see the results that you are looking for. So the secret's out. Go forth, build those amazing glutes. And don't just do endless squats, because they're not really effective for building your booty. If you want to build your quads, squat your ass out, but they're not that effective for building the glutes. It's just about understanding that you have 3 muscles that make up your booty, and you need to train them all to get that complete 3D look, that HD.
100%. And you need the power of the Maximus, the shelf of the Medius, and the stabilizing support of the Minimus. It is a complete system.
100%. And stop wasting your time on programs or plans that's only recommending that you train one of the 3 muscle groups. Like, it doesn't make sense. Start using this 3 muscle method, and you will finally build the strong, round, and functional glutes you've been working so hard for, because functionality is what it's about. Yeah.
And we are very excited for you to try this. So please drop a comment below if you do, and let us know which of the glute exercises or muscles you have been neglecting the most.
And if you found this video helpful and you're ready for more no-nonsense fitness content, then do us a favor and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe.
Now, we're going to let you go out into this world and go and build that shelf.
We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.